Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Beautiful day. We're in our last week of camping here in Quartzsite at the LTVA. So I thought we'd do something a little bit different on this video. And we're going to do some painting. Not painting on the bus or painting inside. We're going to paint a picture. So we'll go on in a few minutes and show you what we got started on that. I've got some ideas set up. And in the meantime, we're going to take the pup for a walk. He's over here in front of the bus and enjoy this nice day. About 72 today. It's going to be about 95, 96 in a couple of days. So it's getting about time to go and head for higher ground. So we'll see how it goes. But in the meantime, we'll take him for a walk. We'll come back and we'll get started on some painting and show you what my ideas might be. What I've done here is taken this 16 by 20 white canvas and painted it black. We're using the black gesso. I'm trying to use something like the Bob Ross version. So this is black gesso, put on, let it dry thoroughly. And then I think I'm going to try and turn that one there into a darker night scene. And I think what I'm going to work on first is this one down here. This is what I've done, black gesso, and then I left the bottom just white canvas. And what I'll do, I'll come through and I'll put on a good even coat of liquid clear or liquid white, and that gives it, as Bob says, slick and ready to go. So we'll see that. This takes about 30 minutes or so to dry, 30 to 60 minutes depending on weather. I think today it'll take about 15 minutes because it's getting pretty warm in the desert, but we're gonna let those go and see what they do. And then we'll pick up as we go along. I won't do an entire step by step because I don't want to bore anybody too long. So I'll just kind of in and out as I get things done. I haven't painted anything since like last October, and I'm not a very good painter. But I'm gonna give it give it a good college try. Since I'm out here in the desert, I need to get it done. So I'm gonna try to make sunsets, maybe out of this one, and sunset out of this one. So we'll see. Maybe, I don't know. We'll just find out. As as Mr. Ross says, there are no mistakes, just a bunch of happy accidents. And once you start painting, you can do whatever you want. It's, you're the artist. You're the master of your universe. I can, move mountains and put mountains and everything else. So therefore, we'll get painting here and we'll catch up in a little bit. This is what we came up with. This is what the picture that was a half black and half white I showed you in the previous section. But it came out okay. It wasn't quite exactly what I was thinking I wanted to do with it. I wanted to get more of this in the middle. I wanted to do more of the sunlight, but I got my mountains too high when I started. So I just went ahead and just blended in what I could, made the desert out of it, made the sky, made the mountains. And you can paint whatever you want, any color you want. If you want purple mountains, or blue mountains, or brown mountains, or no mountains, or whatever, you just paint whatever you want. The only thing about this wet oil technique is this paint will be wet for like 3 to 5 days. So you can't get near it, you can't touch it. If you get anywhere, it'll just be wet. So it takes several days for it to dry. But advantage of that is if you want to come in and change it, you can come in, you can add stuff pretty easy or change something around because it's pretty wet. So that's it. And next picture we're going to start with, this. This is the black one we had on the previous segment. And I'm not for sure what I want to do with it yet, but I'm thinking of sunset again with maybe a little bit of water and maybe a little cabin or something. We'll just see how it goes. I haven't painted too many pictures, so this is, this is about it. So let me get you a closer zoom up of that. It's a little harder to see out here outside because there's so much bright light and daylight, but that's the close-up view of it. So stay tuned and we'll get on to the next one. Here's what we have. We have this black canvas covered, which actually white canvas painted with black gesso, so it makes it the black canvas. I think it makes the night scenes, darker scenes add up and come out more. But what I'll do, I'll work on this in a few minutes and get it kind of set up. So, but using this wet on wet Bob Ross technique that he uses, I've learned a couple things. Is it takes a lot of paint and it takes a lot of pressure to get the paint stuck on this fabric. And you'll see Bob when he's doing his videos, sometimes he'll have his foot upon his easel. He's got that big, huge metal easel with this thing wedged in there. And there's a reason for that, because as he's taking this brush and he's pounding away on it, you got to have some pretty good force, because he's putting some force behind it. So this little easel, it's okay, but it takes a little work to get it secured. And when you're using paint, I use Bob Ross paint. Yeah, you can use any kind of oil paint, but I use this. The advantage, and one nice thing about using the oil paint is when you use it and you don't use it all, you can actually leave it on your palette and wrap it with saran wrap, tinfoil, or not tinfoil, plastic wrap, and put it in the refrigerator or the freezer, and it'll be fine. So I don't know how long it lasts in there, but I understand you can keep it that way until the next time you use it, because you'll never get it back in these tubes. So but you can save it for the next round. And so we'll get it set up here in a minute, and we'll kind of throw some stuff on here and see what it looks like. Well, there's where we got started so far. We're going to try to have a sunset somewhere up here, some clouds maybe, and maybe a little water down here, and a little cabin, some trees. I haven't really decided, and one thing about painting, you can make it up as you go, unless you're following a picture or something you've seen. But you just make it up, make whatever you're feeling and put it in there. So we'll see how it goes. It's a challenge. And I'm kind of challenged in my little tight space in my bus here. I've got limited area, and I've got my stuff kind of scattered around. Can't do it outside because it's too windy, too dusty, and too much other things. So stick around and we'll kind of jump in and out with the video as we go along. I'm not going to do the whole thing as Bob Ross shows. He can do it in about 27 minutes. It takes me about 2 hours. So I'm a little bit slower than him. And I don't do as good a job as him, but we try to get it done. So stick with us, and we'll pop back in as I get a few things on here. All right, here's where we got so far. It's kind of coming around, but I've got my sky, my mountains, and some low sky, putting some greenery across. So this is just whatever you imagine you can put on the paint. So you can make your own painting. And the nice thing about using this wet on wet technique is if you don't have time to do it all at once, you can stop. Like right now, I could stop right here, and then tomorrow or whatever, come back in and work on some more, because it'll still be wet for about 2 or 3 days. So, but we're going to go ahead and kind of work on, and I got my little bit of a momentum going here, so we'll see what happens. And go from there. It's kind of wild colors, but well, you know what? We'll see what happens. But here we go. Well, there it is. That's the best part of it. Well, there it is. We have it, I think, finished in my mind. We may want to go more. I'll zoom in here a little closer. But that is kind of what I was kind of going for. Doesn't look bad. So yeah. That's my finished version of this picture. Got our mountains, got our sky, and got our cabin. And doesn't look too bad. Let's zoom in here so we can get a little closer. But there it is. I've got some other pictures in the background that I've done before, so this one is pretty colorful. I got it pretty much done. And it came out pretty well. I think it did. I'm not the best painter, but I'm getting better as time I go. And as Bob says, practice makes perfect, or practice, And after he did 20,000, I'm only like 19,985 away. So we're getting there. It's looking good. I think it'll be fine. But this is the wet oil painting, so you can go in and, like I said, you can change it anywhere you want to. And if I want to come back and add a tree or something, I can do that, today or tomorrow, and it'll still be fine. It's still wet enough. So get your time to think about it if you want to add more. But just want to say thanks everybody for watching. And like I said, this is not a how-to video. This is just a entertainment video of just doing a painting. So, and I didn't do the whole thing, film the whole thing, because it was taking about an hour and a half, and I didn't want to bore too many people. Hour and a half. It's gonna be a challenge in this little space with this, working in this area, and it is messy. Because you do have, cleaning your brushes, you have paint thinner everywhere. Like Bob says, you'll redecorate your entire room. And I've redecorated my bus. I had to wipe so much stuff down with paint thinner. But just want to say that's it. That's the second one. And say thanks everybody for watching. We're going to let that dry for a while. And we'll be moving on here at a Quartzsite probably this week, because it's going to get hot. And we're going to be getting on the road and probably going north somewhere. So hope you enjoyed it. Leave any comments, and we'll just see you on down the road. Get my foot hung up on my easel. That's another problem with the space. There's not enough space to move in here. Thanks everybody.